Hi, let's talk about what we learned today. In this podcast, we talk about the things that we learned by having a big family. We have 5 kids, and I am one of your hosts. I'm Chris Ballinger, and I'm joined with
Jessica Ballinger. And I just learned that we shouldn't start a podcast with our bedroom door open because it is loud, even at night here. So let me go shut the bedroom door.
Okay. And while she does that, I'm going to introduce our very, very special guest for the day. It is none other than Parker Ballinger.
Their little son. I'm the middle kid.
He is the very middle of our 5 children. So how old are you, Parker?
I am 7.
And you want to say anything about yourself? Introduce yourself at all?
Well, I'm Parker. I'm 7 years old. And I have been wanting to do this podcast for a really long time. So.
Yeah, as soon as we announced that we were going to do a podcast, Parker was like, I'm on it.
I was like, I'm going to be the second person to do it. Because I knew that there was going to be a special person before this one. So I'm just like, I need to be the second person.
He wanted to be the first person, huh?
Yes, I did.
So in this show, the first thing that we typically do is we talk about what we learned in the last week. So, or at least the last amount of time in which we've talked on the podcast. So I have been learning in the past couple of days how to finish an attic. I've never had one of those before in a house, and I'm learning how to put flooring onto it. And by flooring, I just mean some plywood so that we can put our like Christmas decorations, old baby clothes, stuff like that up there and store it so it's not being stored either in a closet or down in our garage.
Yeah, Mom would love it up there because it's super hot. So she would need a blanket.
Parker's right. I am a cold person naturally, and even when it's very warm, I like a blanket. And even in like a really hot car, I don't turn on the AC and I just enjoy it. So yes, and I also love it because I'm excited about the idea of an attic too. Christopher and I and Parker live in California, and we don't have a basement. We haven't had an attic before. We do currently have a garage, which is really exciting. We've lived in homes without garages before. And we also don't have a pantry. And that's not related to being in California, I don't think.
That's just this house.
That's just this house. Several houses we've lived in haven't had a pantry. And that could be pretty challenging with 7 people in our home. So Christopher and I are typically always looking for new places to store things or put things. And the idea of an attic is pretty thrilling for us.
It is really hot up there. There's a lot of insulation under us and nothing above us. So the sun is just basically baking that space. So you might actually really like it up there.
Yeah.
You should get a beanbag chair and a book and just curl up there.
Yeah, it'll be my secret escape.
I don't know if you know this, Parker, but when mommy and daddy were dating, like first dating in high school, I would get into mommy's car during the summer and she would have the heater on in her car. And I'd be like, what are you doing? This isn't good for you. And she was like, no, this is how I always want it. And then she's like sipping tea and just like in her really hot car.
Yeah, I like it hot.
Wait, it's not good for you to be...
No, I just didn't think it was because I grew up in a house where everyone was always too hot. Everyone was like, I need it to cool down. Get me a fan. Get me some ice cubes. Like it needs to be cool.
We're not middle ground people. I like to be much warmer, and Christopher's and his whole family likes to be much colder. What do you like?
Being cold.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it has to do with metabolism. That's my guess.
Yeah, I'm just like, why don't we just get like 1,000 fans and just like throw it up there, and then let's cover the place in ice cubes.
And he wants to create a little Arctic ecosystem.
And eat like a lot of ice cream.
Parker, what have you learned this week? Anything new that you're working on that you've experienced?
Let's see. Well, just today, I was doing yoga. And this morning with brother and Jacob and Duncan.
So Jacob is Parker's older brother and Duncan is Parker's younger brother.
One of his younger brothers.
One of his younger brothers.
Yes. And so we were doing that yoga class, and I learned that some people don't describe the whole entire show. I was like, they don't describe the whole entire show? Oh, and also they said this word that I didn't know what meant.
Namaste?
Yeah, namaste. And it means like...
As far as I know, it means peace. So it's a greeting and also a way to say goodbye, but it's basically saying peace to you.
Can we roll back just a little bit? What were you talking about? They don't describe the whole entire show. What does that mean?
So we were doing Star Wars. And
you were doing Star Wars yoga?
Yes, Star Wars yoga. And I didn't really understand how they didn't involve like a lot of things. They didn't involve like R2-D2 dying and...
Whoa, spoiler alert.
Okay, so I think what happened was I found this really cool YouTube channel, and I wish I knew the name of it right now offhand. I do not, but please search for it if you're interested in this sort of thing. I would suggest typing in like Star Wars yoga for kids or Frozen yoga or anything like that, because it's basically a YouTube channel that has a story time while they do yoga for kids. So it keeps kids interested in what's going on while they're doing yoga, which can not be a very interesting task sometimes. I think it's a really cool channel, and I think it's really great for kids right now to have something like that to stay flexible, to keep active, and just to get involved in things like yoga from a young age. I think it's really positive, and the channel itself is really well done. And I think what they did, Parker, was they tried to avoid doing spoilers because not everybody has seen Star Wars. So I think they do a really good job trying to navigate, not totally stealing the story and spoiling the story for people who haven't seen it.
Oh, yes, okay.
Okay.
So they did miss some stuff, but that's fine with me. They're just trying to not... They probably haven't seen the movie in a long time. And also, they probably, don't want to give spoilers. And they might have seen it pretty soon. They might have seen it so that they could describe and then not get spoilers.
I'm going to look up the channel right now so I can tell it to you guys. You know what it is.
What did you think of the yoga part of it? Did you enjoy doing yoga?
Yes, it was very fun. She made some very things for R2-D2. And Duncan laughed at every part that he was so flattered. Because what does flattered mean again?
It means he was he felt good about what people were saying about him.
Oh, I didn't mean to say that.
I appreciate Parker's always trying out new vocabulary words. He is not afraid to try a word that he knows, but he doesn't totally know. And he tries to throw it in there and then kind of goes oh, what does that actually mean? And I really like that about Parker. I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, because I just learned a new thing, what flattered means.
Yeah, by using it and asking the question, you learn something new. That's really cool.
And that was on this podcast, which is called Let's Talk About What We Learned Today.
Yeah.
So the channel is called Cosmic Kids Yoga, if anybody is looking for a cool channel like that.
And they do Harry Potter and Star Wars.
Lots of things. Under the Sea. They do a lot of really cool yoga storytime experiences.
I can hear your teeth clicking when you do that. Did you know that?
No.
Oh, yeah. These microphones are very powerful.
Don't worry, don't take it from me.
So I think one more thing that we've gone through as a family and learned about this week has been really sad and really hard. And
yes.
That is that we had our first experience with a very beloved pet dying. So we have our pet Alice, and she was about 2 years past her life expectancy because she was just under 10 years old.
She was an old An old rabbit. In rabbit years, she was very old. Are you okay, Parker, talking about
Yeah.
this? Okay. I want to check in.
We got her, I think Bailey was 3, just around 3, and Jacob was new, and she's been here. She's been a part of our family since before Parker was born, before Duncan was born, and since before Luke was born.
Luke was born last year.
I know.
So-
But it's just kind of wild when you think about it, that she's been here your whole life. And we hadn't really experienced that. Like, Bailey's been actually scared about her passing away for years. She's had nightmares before this of what that would be like. And it's something that she's always been really nervous to have to confront and experience. And I think it happened the best that it possibly could have. You know, she passed away from old age and not from some like awful pet accident. Bailey spends time with her in the mornings, and she had like a really nice time with her that morning. And like a week or 2 ago, we filmed her in a YouTube video. Like, so we have a memory of her like up until almost her last days. A lot of times we don't feature our animals in our YouTube videos, but we just did that day. And we, like, for no reason, we were just like, oh yeah, we'll just really talk about the animals today. And then Bailey spent time with her that morning, and they had like a really good time together. And then thankfully, and I'm sorry for you, but thankfully Christopher was the one that found her when she had passed away in her cage, and not Bailey or one of the other kids, because I know that would have been really, really hard for them. So it kind of happened under the best circumstances, considering what it was.
This is like a new thing for us as well, talking about a pet passing away and death in general with our kids. I mean, we've talked with them about it, but this was the first time especially with Duncan. Duncan wanted to see her, and I let him, and I was saying, do you have any questions? And he said, she's not walking or running. And I said, I know she's not going to do that anymore. And he was like, okay. And then later he was like, when is she going to walk and run again? And I had to explain sort of the finality of that. And then, it just seemed kind of like, I don't know, like he wasn't really taking it in until later at night. He came up and he said, am I going to not walk or run someday? And that was like a really difficult conversation, but really good, just really good to have with him.
Yeah, there was a lot we got into with Duncan. And then because he had an element of just sort of kind of callously asking about it or stating it, that would trigger Bailey, who was very distraught and very brokenhearted. And she was just really deeply sad about it, and is still going through that. But then Duncan would say things very bluntly, which is normal. And for a 3-year-old, it's very normal. But that would kind of like open a wound again for her. And then night that it happened too, like basically it turned out that all the kids were just sobbing until like past midnight. Like we put Duncan to bed at like 7:30, and we were trying to cheer up the kids. So we kind of had a little like ice cream and movie party. It was really sweet, actually. Bailey was very upset, and she was like, Mommy, I don't know what to do. All I can think about is that I just kind of want ice cream. And I was like, oh,
she came up with that on her own?
That was on her own.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
It's such, I don't know, to me that was such like a Bridget Jones Diary moment or something, like so like typical, like this feeling where you're just like, just give me ice cream. It's the only thing that'll make it better. And that's what she said, just very on her own. I don't think she's ever seen anything in the media that would like have that response. And I was like, okay, we'll get you all the ice cream. So we ordered ice cream and we set up for a movie. And we thought Duncan was going to go to bed, and he just didn't.
Yeah, he didn't even watch the movie. That wasn't the reason he kept coming out of bed. He had a lot of legitimate questions. And so it was just a really, really long night as parents.
And I think it was okay, like with the movie and the ice cream party, like things were kind of okay. But then by the time they then had to go to sleep, it just like everybody was upset. And it was just like wailing for hours. And it was really a hard night.
At least the baby didn't wake up.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. The baby didn't wake up, but it was a hard night. And like Bailey the next day was like hesitant to go into classes and she was really torn up. And she did end up going to her online classes, but she was like really on the edge for the first one. But I think it was good that she went. And it started later in the day too. It started at like 11 or something. So she got some rest beforehand. I think some of the kids are feeling more at terms like okay with it. And then some of them are more sad about it. How are you feeling about it, Parker?
I feel a little bit more sad. And I'm one of the kids like, I feel more sad about Alice dying, and she was a really good pet, and we still have Tulip.
Tulip is our guinea pig.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just really sad that she died, and me and Bailey are still like, we're really sad about it, and I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see all of our different kids having their different dynamics about it, because Bailey was very distraught. Parker was like, I think in shock and then very distraught.
Yeah.
And then Jacob, who is our 11-year-old son, he's like the second in line. He got very responsible. So he like wanted to help everybody. He wanted to take care of Bailey and get her like iced tea. He wanted to help Christopher with like taking care of the bunny. And he just like really wanted to help. And then he also started kind of cracking jokes. Like
he was trying to cheer everyone up.
Yeah, he wasn't being insensitive. He was trying to like, he thought that would help. So he was trying to like crack jokes. And then after like everybody was settled down, and I think it was maybe when they were eating ice cream or something, he like came up to the room and he was so sad. Like it was like, it was like that moment where he'd been strong and his shoulders were just like kind of collapsed. And he was just like, I'm really sad too. And he had been having this like exterior of like coming to help everybody, but like, he's just such a sweetheart. It's been interesting to see our kids responding in their different ways. Yeah, so it's been a lot this week, and that was pretty heavy. We probably won't be talking about it that much on our YouTube channel, so I just want to say it somewhere because it happened and it's real, but I also don't want it to go too much online because I know that
it's going to hurt Bailey a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We don't want to hurt Bailey, and we're trying to kind of keep this a little bit off of the visual YouTube.
Yeah. And also like if she's in a live on Twitch, like please be respectful and not bring it up and all of that stuff as well. Our main topic today is babies versus teeth. So we'll get right into that right after we check and see if we have a word from our sponsors. Okay. So today we are talking about babies and teething and what that process is like, and what you can do to sort of alleviate it and help it out a little bit. And Parker is here.
And Parker's gotten all his teeth.
I've gotten
all my teeth. What about you, Christopher?
I've actually lost some wisdom teeth, so we can even talk about that if you want. But mainly,
well, Parker actually hasn't gotten all of his adult teeth, I guess.
No,
I've got 2 adult teeth.
He's in between. He's right in the middle.
Yeah.
But we do have
like 1,000 teeth wiggly. So
1,000 wiggly teeth. He's got teeth in other people's mouths that are wiggly.
No, I got like there somewhere over there. I was literally wiggling it just now. And then there's some like back there, I don't know. They're like everywhere. So and it's starting up on my 2 front teeth. So.
And teething is something that we've been going through as parents a lot over the last several months.
Yes.
But very condensed, like this has been the real deal over the past week or 2. And our baby Luke, who will be 1 next month, just got his top 2 teeth and actually a 3rd top tooth.
Yes.
And he's had the bottom 2 for, like, would you say a month or 2?
Yeah. He has 5 teeth total, and he's really working on the one on the other side right now. So he's he's still working on teething. It is a process, but Jessica always says that after the front top teeth come in, the 2 front top teeth, that's sort of the big hurdle.
Yeah,
with
the
babies.
two front ones are really the toughest for them, I think. And just like generally working into teething, I feel like teething is such an interesting thing because for us, all of our babies have really shown signs of teething at around 3 months. And we've been like, oh my goodness, is this going to be the baby that has teeth really early? And they never are. Like,
Oh yeah, they draw it out.
yeah, I think the earliest we've had, and I can't name which kid had which tooth when, but I think the earliest was probably around 6 months. And then Luke's came in, I don't even remember, like 8 to 9 months. But they all show signs of teething at around 3 months. And Christopher, I think you had your first tooth at 4 months.
You remember that?
No, that's what your mom's always told me. Because I keep, every time I'm thinking my kids are going to get teeth, she's like, oh, well, Christopher had his at 4 months. So I'm like, okay, mine are too. And it doesn't happen. And those teething signs of our babies have been drooling. Like they get really drooly and they have a sleep regression at around 3 to 4 months. So even like Duncan was sleeping so well through the night, actually like 12 hours. And then 3 to 4 months came around and he stopped sleeping so well.
Yeah, they wake up in the middle of the night and cry. And they seem fussier as well. It's not just the drooling and the lack of sleep. It's also a general like fussiness because it hurts. Like they're cutting through their gums with their teeth. It's a painful process.
But I will say, if you have a little baby, especially around 3 or 4 months old, or you're going to have a baby someday, their gums really look different when the teeth are actually about to emerge.
Yeah.
So, and they also kind of guard their mouths a lot more. So I feel like the big like telltale signs are that you can't like even like move their lips aside. They won't let you in. They don't want you to see their mouths.
And that's like, when you want to. You want to see those little
right.
baby teeth.
You're trying so hard because you're like, I think they're cutting a tooth, but you just like can't get in there.
Yeah, but Luke is like, I want to give you some smiles.
Luke is a really smiley baby, so that's helpful. But
He's
even
really smiley, and I think I got more photos of inside his mouth than any of my other kids. But even the last like day or two, getting into those teeth coming out, it was much more difficult to see inside his mouth.
what would you say is like the people always want to know like what's the best thing for a teething baby? What gives them the best relief? I personally don't think there's one thing that's like the best thing, but what do you think?
So I think it's time. I think it's like getting through it. And that's the number one answer you don't want to hear when you're in the middle of teething. But for me, just to know like, okay, well, once these two big ones are out, like you kind of have restless nights, sleepless nights. The baby wakes up and that amps up till it gets to like this peak. Mm-hmm. And then baby gets the teeth and then kind of like sleeps a lot.
Yeah.
Like takes this long recovery sleep and they get back into the routine of being able to sleep again. And I think that's one of the scariest things when you're entering that really heavy teething phase is just you feel like your baby doesn't sleep anymore. And you can get this very dramatic sentiment of like, my baby will never sleep again. Oh my goodness, what happened? What happened to my baby? And your baby is still your baby and they're going to be able to sleep again. They just are going through it right now. And like, you just kind of want to cuddle them. And we take Luke he sleeps in his crib and we would get him out and he would cuddle in bed with me in the middle of the night. And he would get tired again and we'd put him back in his crib. And that would happen like, what do you think? Like 2 or 3 times a night?
Yeah, something like that.
At the peak of the teething for him, it's happening like 2 or 3 times a night. It happens for up to a week long. And then things get better. And I think that's the main thing is to remember things will get better. It is temporary. And as far as devices and tools, we do have some, but they really they're not like gonna fix it.
I do want to talk about a few that do
Absolutely.
alleviate a little bit of it or distract from it. But before I get into that, you touched on something that I think is really interesting in terms of parenting. And it's something that kind of goes to parenting in general is when you jump to conclusions, and you jump to the immediate of like, oh, this is a problem that's never going to go away. That's when you kind of end up losing sight of what's actually going on there. And you end up being frustrated
Yeah.
And when you can kind of go like, this is a moment, like this is some time that we're having here. It's going to get better. What can I enjoy from this, or how can I help my baby during this time? And just know that he or she is going to get over it at some point, that they are going to have their teeth and it's going to be better. That's good insight just in general with parenting, with all sorts of things.
It's one of those things where I'm like really grateful to have had multiple kids, because my first 1 or 2 kids, I definitely didn't have that perspective. And it's nice to have been through it so many times that now we can be more okay with those moments and those hard days and hard nights. What do you think, Parker?
Well, when babies get their teeth, they're normally like, when they first get their teeth, they're normally like an inch big. Like, you can see their gums going it's like so big, and you're just like, why aren't they coming out? Because like, I was a really big baby, so when did mine come out?
I don't know when yours came out, but they always kind of follow the same pattern where they get really, really, really big and bulgy. And especially like with Luke, I was so surprised that they weren't coming out yet, because you could see like the outlines of the whites of his teeth. They were so defined.
It looked like he had teeth, but it was just like gums stretched over teeth.
Yeah, he had like pink teeth basically. And then they finally came through, and then when they did, they broke the gums, and then all of a sudden now he has like teeth. Like it's taken almost no time at all for them to really protrude out and look like all grown in, as opposed to when like your teeth fall out and then you have a tooth that's coming up, like an adult tooth. That takes a lot longer to come in.
And it hurts too.
Yeah, does it hurt when you...
It hurts when they, like, your gums are breaking.
Yeah.
So it definitely would have to hurt.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel the same way when the adult teeth come in, huh? It like doesn't keep you up at night.
It doesn't keep you up at night.
When my wisdom teeth came in, that kept me up at night. That was bad. But I don't think it's the same feeling. Do you not know that when my wisdom teeth came in, it was like
when you
super
were a
painful?
kid, like you were in like high school?
No, as an adult. While I had a kid that was teething, I think it might have been Parker, but they came in and it just really was painful. Like they were growing during the same time. I wasn't trying to steal his thunder or anything, and then I had to have them removed. Anyway,
did that hurt?
Yes, that was terrible, but. It was just a moment in time, and now I feel much better. Okay. What do you notice, Parker, that helps Luke during times when he's frustrated with his teeth? Do you know of anything?
Well, he likes sucking on ice and stuff like that. He loves sucking on the bottom of your LaCroix.
Yes, that's true. But I don't think we've ever given him ice.
Right.
No, we've never gave him ice.
You just meant cold things?
Like cold things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like the advice we always get is to freeze a washcloth. And I think with our first 1 or 2 kids, like we tried it and we just never felt that comfortable, like having our kid chew on a frozen washcloth. And then
it must work. People
talk about
recommend
it all the time.
Yeah. So you would think that when something like that happens, that it would work for someone, but it didn't work for us.
Yeah. And my mom always said that they would give us old pizza crusts, like me and my sister when we were teething, that they would like let a pizza crust sit out overnight.
I guess that's kind of what a teething biscuit is now, right? It's like a really dried out.
But we never did that.
No, we didn't do that.
I think the main things that we've done that we've liked are Orajel.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Tylenol if it's like really rough. Mm-hmm. So like we wait on that. We don't do it all the time, but like if there's a really rough night and the baby can't fall asleep, we'll do some Tylenol.
Yeah, that's pretty rare, but we have done it in the past. And then the vibrating teether is another good one.
Yeah, so there's a toy you can get.
We love those vibrating teether. Can we go get it?
Not right now because this is, remember, it's not as visual, but the star one we really like, but we've had the corn one in the past. And I think there are some other kinds, maybe a strawberry, I think. But those
I
are good.
love
You just have to help the baby with that and make sure you're holding it down when they're littler.
Yeah, the idea behind it is that their chewing on it activates this vibrator in it. It's like a soft chew toy that has a vibrating mechanism in it.
Yeah.
And when they're actually in the age where they would be teething, they're not quite strong enough or have the dexterity to bite down on it and activate it. So you have to kind of manually do it. And you kind of sit there and do it, but they immediately go like, what is this? Like
I think it's like numbing a little bit.
It numbs them and it's a little distracting. But if you have a really crying, teething baby in that moment, it is a really helpful little tool.
But even the like stick them in the refrigerator teething toys that are so popular, you see them everywhere. To me, it was like an iconic baby thing when I went into parenting.
Yeah.
And we almost never use those.
No, we use LaCroix cans instead.
This is true. So Luke does love LaCroix cans, and we try to keep them nice and clean for him. Mm-hmm. But he even I feel like he learned to crawl by looking at LaCroix cans because he's just
very motivating.
He's been so interested in them.
Loves that sparkle water.
And I think Bailey and or Jacob used to really like the sides of our Starbucks cups. Like I would have Starbucks iced tea.
Just the base of a cup, basically.
Yeah, like with some ice in it. And they really like that. And what we're dealing with right now actually is that Luke is starting to nip and bite more. So I feel like that's another thing that I'm glad that I have the perspective of having a lot of kids, because I'm not scared of it. Like I'm not looking at it and going like, oh my gosh, when he's 7, he's going to be the biting kid that gets kicked out of play dates. Like it is very normal for babies in this stage to be biting various things. It is very uncomfortable as a nursing mother. Yeah. And I think not Luke, but the baby before that I had, who I won't name, I don't know, what made me very scared for my nipples. Like I Googled, can a baby bite your nipple off? And I genuinely was concerned that
Did
this
you
was
find
my future.
something?
No, it just the amount of bite that I was getting with that baby. It hasn't been all the babies. All the babies have bitten me while nursing in this age.
No, but I mean, when you Googled it, did you end up with a bunch of horror stories?
Yeah, it has happened.
Oh no.
It's not normal. It's not normal, but not typical. But it seems like it's happened. And there are a lot of people who've Googled it and been concerned, but it doesn't end up happening. So it didn't happen for me, but I was very concerned because my baby was
they have sharp
biting.
teeth.
They have sharp little teeth to get through those gums. And
yeah, he bit me today earlier on my nose. It hurts so badly.
Hurts so bad. And you can see they'll leave little marks on your skin.
Yeah.
And he's really nipping at my shoulder a lot right now.
They're just looking for relief. They're just looking for something that, if I bite on this, is it going to make it feel better? I feel like. Yeah. Or they're testing out their teeth.
And it's always past. I'm not saying that they can't later in life be biters or whatever, but this is a phase that will pass. And it's also typical from my experience. When my baby does it, I usually look at them and I go, ow. And I say, ouch, that hurt mommy. And I try to explain, you're hurting me. Right now, Luke kind of looks at me and then he laughs, which I feel like if I'd never had a baby before, maybe that would be very disturbing. But I feel like it's normal and it's okay. But I'm going to keep up my response and my reaction. Some things I don't do is I don't bite my baby back or really punish. It's nothing like that because this is a developmentally normal thing for them to do. So it's more that I'm speaking with him and saying no, don't do that. That hurts me. And I'll make a really sad face and I'll take them either off of my shoulder or off of my chest if they're nursing and show that there's an immediate consequence, but it's not a punishment.
The way Jessica shows them that she's sad is it's not playful at all. I've seen her do it and it makes me want to cry. Just seeing, because she 100% goes, that really hurt. And is you can see tears in her eyes. It's very effective.
Well, sometimes it's very honest.
Well,
sometimes it really hurts.
It's very it makes me go oh my gosh. If she ever said that to me that, my heart would break. That the way that you do it is very intense. But not in a
I
playful
can't
way, because you don't want them to turn it into a game.
Yeah.
Too. That's the other side of it.
And I can't believe Luke's laughs at something you're about to cry at.
Well, as you said before, Luke is a really smiley baby, and he does kind of like laugh at a lot of things.
Yes.
And I feel like, I don't know who, but I think our other kids kind of had similar responses because they're kind of trying to figure out what's going on and what emotions are. And he's just figuring it out.
So before we get into the game portion of today's show, which is designed by Parker, it is Parker chose something. He's like, I know what I want to do for the game. I personally have no idea what it is, but we are about to find out. But before that, we're going to take a little break to see what our sponsors have to say. All right, Parker, what is the game that we will be playing today?
The game is a show in 1 minute.
A show in 1 minute.
Yes, so it doesn't have to be like just a Disney. It doesn't have to be like just a Disney show. It can't be like Netflix show or Hulu. It can be like anything.
Okay.
So it can be like a show from Hulu or a show from Netflix.
So it can be anything, but Parker has a very specific something that it's going to be, right?
Yes. So it's very specific if you don't win it and if you win it. If you win it, you don't have to do it again. But if you don't win it, you have to do it 2 more times, and no one cares if you win one of the times.
Okay.
After, like, the second time you do it, someone cares, but you only have to everyone cares, but you only have to do it once, and if you win that one, you can not, like, stop. And if you lose that one, it's like the same exact thing.
Okay. Are you saying what show that you're doing?
Yes, it's called The Parent Trap.
Which version?
The remake.
Okay.
So Parker's favorite movie is The Parent Trap, the remake, and everything he does, he tries to incorporate a little Parent Trap into these days. So I feel like this is why he wanted to be on the podcast.
Well.
Do I need a stopwatch?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Or you can just set a timer on your watch.
Okay. Well, I have on my phone. I can do
And
it.
what do you have to do? Like, you have to get through the whole movie?
You have to get through the whole movie, but you don't have to say the right words.
Okay.
You have to do it fast, but you can't skip everything.
And we're all acting this out together.
Yes.
Okay.
At the same time. We're all doing it at the same time.
Okay.
Wait, we're not saying the same exact words at the
Right,
same
but we're
exact
in the whole scene
Yes.
together.
We're not taking
Okay.
turns.
So
Okay.
so we are recreating The Parent Trap in 1 minute.
And I have not seen it.
Ever?
So, I don't think so.
We need to see it.
I might have seen
tonight.
it. I might have seen it when it went to video, because I
What
definitely
is
didn't see
going
it in
on?
the theater.
I've watched it 10 times this month.
I know.
I've been very busy. I've been
He
finishing an
needs to
attic.
see it tonight. Tonight.
Well, he's going to see it right now, right?
Yeah, this is all I need.
Okay, let's start it.
Okay, here we go.
On your mark, get set, go.
I love you.
I love you too.
Let's get married.
Okay, and have kids. Oh,
Oh, I'm here, and I'm Hallie Parker. Oh, can you help me get this bag out? Oh, no, I can't get the bag out. Oh, hey, tie-dye girl, can you help me get my bag out? Oh, I got it out. Okay, hi, let's do a sword fight. Sword fight. And then, I got splashed into a pool. Let me
Halfway
help
there.
you. No. Did it end?
no, halfway.
Oh no! I'll grab you. No, let me help you. Oh no! Oh gosh! We're we're playing the game. Oh no! Okay. Now I want to switch places with you. Oh, I learned the handshake, and now it's time for you and me to
Time. That was
it.
one.
So, okay. So we get another time? Everybody cared about that?
Yes, everybody cared about it, but
Okay.
we didn't win.
Okay, we didn't
So
win.
we have to do it two
So
times
I have a question.
more.
Can I ask you a question before we go into the next scene? Okay, it's Hallie and Annie, right?
Yes, Sally Annie.
Okay, I didn't hear a distinct accent.
How are we supposed to know the difference?
Yeah, and I didn't know. Do you want me to jump in? Do you want me to be one of the twins, or are you both twins?
Sure, you guys can like be a leader or twin.
I didn't want to like jump in where I shouldn't.
Yeah, you can be. I'm planning on being Hallie.
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
And will you try to stay close to the microphone the whole time? Because I know it's hard, but okay.
Okay. Ready? On your mark, get set, go.
I love you.
I love you too. Let's have some kids.
Yeah.
Oh, I popped out of my mom's tummy. Oh, I don't know you. Who are you? Are you a girl from... oh, hey, Dad, hey, girl. Come over here. Help me with my bag. Oh, you got it. Thank you. Oh, do you live in California? Yeah. Do you live, like, next to a movie star? No. Oh, let's, do a battle. Ching, ching, ching. Ah, I fell in.
Oh. I
Halfway
saw your
point.
clothes.
Oh.
They've left us in solitary together.
Oh, no. Oh, no. We're
that-
going to switch places.
Is that your father?
Yes.
Oh, I'm the father's girlfriend. Oh, Newt, this is the only scene I've seen in the movie. Ah!
We're not there yet.
Oh, no. I jumped the gun.
I love you, Dad. I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. Oh, no.
Time.
Ah, dang it. I was so close.
I was trying to
think you
speed
should
it
be both
along.
Twins. You do better. I don't think I have the accent right.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
I
Am I Annie? Is Annie the one with the I don't know how to do it. You got to do it.
Okay.
You're so much better than I am.
So, two-pack. To like
Okay.
that. It's
Two
like...
pat. Okay. Okay, we got to cut our
It's
hair.
really politely trying to say good
Yeah.
job.
I think you should do it. I think you should do the accent. Be the twins.
Okay, but you got to go faster.
But we got to go
'cause-
fast. I think it's like not about speed though. It's about like we've got to really condense this plot line.
Yeah, just hit those
So
bullet
like
points.
get to camp, have a problem, cut the hair, switch places.
Okay.
Can we do
and
this?
then kissing.
Who kisses? Me and Daddy?
We get to kiss?
Yeah, you and Dad.
Oh, I
Okay.
love this game. That's great. Okay. Let's make sure we get to that point at this one.
Okay.
Okay, ready? On your mark, get set, go.
Let's get married.
And kiss.
And babies. Oh.
Oh, hi, I'm Hallie. Oh, you're Hallie? Oh, yes, I'm gonna cut your hair because we're gonna trade places.
Oh. Two pair. Oh, then kiss.
Oh,
Time is not up.
okay.
But did we do it? Was that the movie?
Yes,
That was the goal. So you didn't
I
catch
did
on.
I did it really fast. I skipped a lot of
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
we
was
skipped the
that
goal.
was under 30 seconds. And we got to kiss. I'd say that was a win.
Okay.
Good game.
But that means we have to do it one more time.
No.
Yes, it does.
I want to.
I actually have some questions from the internet for you.
Okay.
Would you like to hear some questions from the internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to your microphone.
Let's see here. Erica Israel is asking, what is your favorite thing about each of your siblings?
Well, I love that Jacob has a great mind and he is dyslexia. And he has a great mind for building, and I just love building with him and stuff like that. And I love like cooking and stuff like that. And Duncan, I just love how cute and how so much he's a 3-year-old. Bailey, that's a good thing about her. She cares so much about people, and she cares so much about people and animals, and she gets really upset when something dies, like Alice and something like that. And Luke, I love how smiley he is.
Yeah. He's so smiley, huh?
Here's another question. This is from Susan. Parker, when we finally get to go out safely, where's the first place you want to go and why?
I want to go to my family's house, and why I want to go there is to be with my family.
Good answer. Let's see here. A couple more. You having fun with
Okay.
this? You like this? Okay.
Yes.
Allison wants to know what's your favorite board game to play, and also adds Chris and Jessica can answer this too.
My favorite board game to play is probably, what's that called again? Catan.
Catan Junior or Catan regular?
Catan regular.
Okay, excellent.
Well, I like one of the expansions, the expansion that we play.
Okay. I think we mainly just play the
usually
regular
play
one.
regular.
Yeah.
Is that the regular?
Yeah.
Oh.
Jess, did you have a favorite game you wanted to throw in there?
It's hard for me to choose because it really depends on my mood, but I would say Pandemic is really high up there. That's one that I kind of crave a lot, but I also really like Catan.
Yeah, Catan's a really solid game.
Yeah.
Really solid game. And I've been really enjoying the game Scythe lately.
Yeah.
That's a fun one as well.
They actually spell it Cat-Ann. And that's very weird to me because I normally just say Catan.
You can call it that.
I don't get it.
Yeah. It's kind of a tricky word for like people get, I think, a little uncomfortable saying it because they're kind of like, is that how you say it? I've heard people say Catan before.
That's a lot different than I say it. But
Rosie wants to know, what's your favorite thing about gymnastics? And what do you like about it? And do you see yourself doing gymnastics in the future, like 10 to 20 years from now?
yes, sometimes in my dreams, I imagine that I go out and I just do like cartwheels and things like on those pointy like things, and I'm just like, I don't get hurt.
Have you ever gotten really hurt doing gymnastics?
Yes, I have.
How? What happened?
I don't remember. I think I fell off the rings or something.
And did it knock the wind out of you,
Oh,
or did
yes.
you twist your ankle? What happened?
I twist my ankle. I think I almost broke it. I can't remember. So that was a really scary moment for me, and like falling off of those rings, like I was jumping to get them and I fell down. And you guys weren't there. He was like about to call you guys, and he didn't even call you guys.
Wow.
So that was one of the scariest moments. I was like, Mom, Dad, my tummy hurts. I didn't tell you the story. This is the one time I told you the story. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you were okay.
Yeah, me too.
And my favorite gymnastics skill to do is probably an aerial. Today, I fell down doing an aerial, and it was actually like really fun for some reason.
Please don't try to fall down doing an aerial. An aerial, by the way, is a no-handed cartwheel, and it is so frightening to watch happen as a parent. It's makes your heart stop for sure. So please don't try to fall down when you're doing an aerial.
I do.
You do try to fall down?
Sometimes.
The best purchase I think we've ever gotten, Parker, is his gymnastics mat. That's the one thing between him and the ground. You want to answer another question?
Yeah.
This is from I Sound Like a Girl. And the question is it hard to share items with your siblings?
Sometimes Jacob got this Harry Potter thing, and I've been looking for this car all day, and Duncan finds it. I'm like, oh, hey, can I play with that? And he's like, no, I'm playing with it. So I was like,
His eyes got real big, for those of you listening and not watching on YouTube. Do you find it more difficult to share with your larger siblings or your younger siblings? Your older siblings? They are physically larger than you, or the smaller ones? Which are harder to share with?
Duncan and Jacob are the hardest.
Oh, so the two closest to you in age.
Yes.
Interesting.
Sometimes. Like, the most is probably Bailey?
So all.
All of them.
I don't
Especially
know all
that
of them.
baby.
No, yes, the baby is one of the hardest ones.
I noticed that you and Jacob and Bailey, like sometimes you have a hard time sharing, but you typically are able to like work it out and talk it through it. Whereas with your younger siblings, I feel like since they're still learning, it takes a little more effort on your part.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does a lot.
I have another question for you. What's your favorite subject in school, and what is your favorite out-school thing you do?
An OutSchool is an online homeschool or distance learning resource.
Yes, I should have mentioned that. Sorry.
I can't remember most of them. I like my favorite is probably like surgeries and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
You took a class on surgeries?
No, I didn't take a class on surgeries.
Oh, that's your
It's like
favorite subject?
yes.
So like anatomy,
I don't know what that means.
biology?
What? What?
Parker
are-
likes
those
learning
are
about
school
being a
subjects.
doctor someday.
Yes.
So it's not math anymore?
It's not math anymore.
Oh,
But
wow.
I think it's science, and that
Yeah.
falls in science.
Parker
Yeah.
used to love math more than any other subject.
Yes,
it's cool that you're like
s-
venturing out and
Yes,
learning new
science is second, and then math is the next one,
excellent.
third.
And what's your favorite out school class that you've done?
My favorite out school class. I like the surgery ones, like not the surgery, but like I've done two like on patients, and because it takes a lot of patience to be a doctor. And there's another one that I learned how to be a doctor.
The first aid class.
Yes, the first aid class.
You want to know my favorite class that you take on out school?
What?
Baking class. Because then I get to eat your cookies.
You don't get to eat all my cookies.
No, I didn't say all. I said I get to eat.
Monster.
I got to eat a cookie and it was really good. I'm just trying to say that you did a good job baking that cookie that one time. So
I can bake you like a whole platter. You
a
just
whole
have
platter?
Yeah, you have to give me 1 cent.
1 cent. Wow.
And supply the ingredients.
And you'll supply all the ingredients, or is that on me as well?
That's on you as well.
Okay, excellent.
Fair.
If you have questions for us for future episodes, you can reach out to us on Twitter using the hashtag ltawwlt. You can remember that by going ltawwlt if you want.
It really works. It's nice.
I know. I'm glad we planned it out that way. We have a very long name for our podcast, and it has a very interesting acronym.
Yeah.
That's hard to remember unless you go LT. Then
yeah.
it's a little easier.
It's grown on me very quickly.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So you can reach out to us there. Jessica are you Ballinger Mom on Twitter? And
Yes.
I'm Ballinger Family on Twitter. So you can @, us there as well. And if you're on YouTube, you can check us out. We have this channel, which is Let's Talk About What We Learned Today podcast. And we also have Ballinger Family, which is like vlogs. You'll see a lot more Parker there.
And Parker actually has his own YouTube channel
That's true.
that he edits all the content, and he makes the thumbnails, and he makes all the content himself. We make sure that he's posting things that have been viewed by us as parents.
Yes, I've been trying to post this Mother's Day video. It's taken me a while.
But
Because every time I try to film it, it's always gotten deleted. So
your editing gets deleted.
Yes. So I have to I have to put it back into the file, and then I have to re-edit everything.
Yeah.
So
The
it's
joys of
really hard.
editing. So we let our kids have YouTube channels that they produce everything on their own. It's an educational tool for us.
Yeah,
So-
we consider it part of our homeschooling, where they are learning how production actually happens.
Oh, I learned something new about that.
Yeah,
I
what's that?
learned you could voice over.
Yes, this video Parker has been working on making voiceovers for the content that he's creating.
That's super cool.
It's
I
very
haven't
cool.
been using it in this one. I believe so.
And
Yeah.
your channel's called Parker King of Gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's creating all of the content on his own and he's a 7-year-old, things come out pretty slowly, wouldn't you say? Or sometimes it'll be like 2 or 3 in 1 week or in a couple days and then nothing for like 6 months.
It's
that's
all
okay.
It's all his ideas and his filming and everything, but it is like managed by us in
Yeah.
terms of like
Yeah.
making sure everything is cool that goes
Like,
out there.
I've been trying to post it more often, but that hasn't been working out so well.
I think you just described how every YouTuber feels, though, honestly. Like, it's really hard. Editing and getting things up is hard work. So I'm really proud of you. I think you're doing a great job, and you've gotten a lot of videos up. It's really cool.
Well, we're almost out of time here. Is there anything else you want to say to the podcast audience, Parker?
Well, I love podcasts, and I can't believe I just did my first one.
How's it
and
feel?
this is the second one, and I am just raging. It's so exciting. I've been waiting for like a month for this.
Yeah.
It's like so excited.
Was it as good as you imagined it would be?
Yes, it's a lot better.
It was really fun just hanging out with just you for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? That was fun. It was like a little date. Right?
Yeah.
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 You should bring me onto these podcasts more often.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll have you back again.
So far, you've been on 50% of our podcasts.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
1 out of 2.
Yeah, you've been in half of them.
Half?
We've only done 2, so you've been in half of the podcasts.
Oh.
Jessica, do we have a topic for next week?
We
Or
do not. So
Okay.
let's get some suggestions in the comments if you guys want to suggest anything for us to discuss next week, or if you have any questions for us. What's Parker's suggestion? Hair.
Hair. Okay.
I don't know if it'll be hair, but maybe next time you're on, we'll make sure it's hair. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And makeup.
Okay.
All right. This has been what we learned today. Let's talk about what we learned today. Jessica, Parker, Chris, thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Wait, will you ever bring Luke on?
We'll
Maybe.
see.
If he wakes up in the middle, we've got to. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next week.